Steve Letarte on the winning combination.
I love you, man. I love you. Thank you.
Advantage, disadvantage after Daytona.
Again, problems for Clint Boyer, puts him out early.
Expect the unexpected.
I can only hear you on the backstretch. I'll switch the radio to
NASCAR America is next.
The biggest race of the year had the most popular drivers celebrating after the checkered flag had flown. And if it hadn't happened before this, Dale Earnhardt Jr. cemented his place in history at the World Center of Racing, becoming just the 11th driver with multiple Daytona 500 wins. Welcome to NASCAR America. I'm Rick Allen alongside 21-time Cup Series winner Jeff Burton. Daytona in our rearview mirror, but quite a few drivers still grasping to good finishes.
Oh, yeah, no question. Those guys had really good starts of the year. Always feels good to get off to a good start.
We transition to our second race, Phoenix. Do you keep that momentum going?
Well, you're trying to, you know, but honestly, it's so hard to keep the momentum going. Competition's so tough. But I'll tell you, these teams, they get in their head, the most important race is the upcoming race. So Phoenix means a lot.
And we're off to Phoenix, and for the first time, we'll see NASCAR's new qualifying format in full effect. Tracks under 1¼ miles, including Phoenix, will feature 2 rounds. The fastest 12 from the first 30-minute session, they're going to advance to the final 10-minute round. The fastest in that session will take the pole. As we look forward to our next race in Phoenix, the qualifying procedures are still a work in progress. Marty Snyder joins us from our Charlotte studios. Marty, what's the latest on qualifying?
Well, the teams had that same exact question, Rick, and they had a lot of questions, and NASCAR was getting so many individual questions, they said, hey, let's schedule a conference call. That conference call happened today at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. This is something NASCAR's been doing for the last year or so, scheduling league-wide conference calls, so all the teams in NASCAR were on there, and they let the questions fly about how this exactly is going to go down in Phoenix. You know, crew chiefs don't even know where to stand for this qualifying session. Do they stand on the hauler? Do they stand in the pit box? I talked to several crew chiefs today, including Keith Rodden and Slugger Labby and Kevin Mannion. And the main question they had is, how do I cool my race car down once it comes to pit road? You know, teams are worried that other teams are going to develop these massive fan systems to cool down the car, which would drain the battery. So they had the question of, can I hook up a battery charger to my car? Can I go around on the slow lap while everybody else is qualifying with no tape on to cycle the water to cool my car down? So a lot of questions about how it's going to work, what they can do to the race car once it comes onto pit road. But we know, Rick, 1, qualifying is going to be interesting and fun to watch, but 2, it's going to be a work in progress for several weeks.
And spotters are going to play an important role in this qualifying session as well. Thanks a lot, Marty.
Going to be a lot of fun to watch. See you later, Rick.
And we also have to think about the driver's perspective in that qualifying session. You guys always seem to turn your fastest laps the first lap you go out onto the track. So are we going to see guys go out in the first 5 minutes and then never go back out?
Well, you're going to see people, the fast cars, yes.
Yeah.
But you're going to see people actually maybe go slower later in the run because, you know, you've wore your tires out a little bit. So this is really going to be an interesting thing to watch. I mean, I don't think anybody really knows what's going to happen. I think strategy is going to be really interesting. You heard Marty talk about cooling the engines down.
Right.
That's what's so important to put tape on the front of the car. The more tape you put on it, the hotter it gets. So how do you do both? And finding that balance is really going to be difficult.
Strategy and qualifying. We love it. The Daytona 500 can make or break a season. Teams will either be riding the momentum or scratching their heads wondering what happened. Let's focus now on the ones with a smile on their face.
Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt.
I can't believe this. This is better than the first one.
Earnhardt Jr.'s advantage is obvious. He leaves Daytona with the most points. No surprise his teammate finished P4. He's the winningest plate track driver.
Woo! That's like a win after the last damn 8-year driver, man. Great job, guys.
Hamlin went undefeated in Speed Weeks until radio problems interfered Sunday night.
I couldn't hear nothing, obviously. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Sorry I couldn't get it for you.
Still, he managed a runner-up finish. 2012 champion Brad Keselowski's looking to rebound after a subpar 2013.
This was an incredible car. I got no damn help when I needed it.
2013's top rookie certainly isn't starting with a sophomore slump.
Awesome job, guys. We made something out of it.
Casey Mears might have been the most unexpected top 10 finisher.
I appreciate everything. You guys worked hard. Good way to start the year.
NASCAR may have revamped the chase format for 2014. However, points are still important in determining the 16-driver field. Thanks to his Daytona 500 victory, Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads the Sprint Cup standings by 5 points over second place Denny Hamlin. You know, the unexpected advantages would have to include a guy like Landon Castle, a finish that he probably wasn't expecting, but a smile on his face when he left Daytona.
Yeah, huge day for Landon and his team. You know, to leave the Daytona 500, number one, with a good finish. Number two, with a lot more money in their pocketbook. Little teams race off the money from the Daytona 500 for a long time. They also solidified a sponsor for the rest of the year. This was a really big race for those guys.
You know, on the opposite side, others are now in a place that they have to dig themselves out of a hole. Let's call these the Dirty Dozen. Among the drivers at a disadvantage are Brian Vickers, who finished 30th on Sunday. Danica Patrick, she couldn't repeat her 500 performance from a year ago. She got caught up in that big one on lap 145. Now, who are the top 5 that had probably the worst problems on Daytona 500 Sunday?
Well, let me go to the board. I'm going to need your little help. All right, with this first one. You got really long arms.
Who do you want?
Casey Kane in the 5 car.
Right.
He's number 5. You know, they had a self-inflicted problem early in the race, and late in the race, they had an issue. He had to speed down pit road to keep getting run over. Bad start at Daytona 500. Then ended up having a bigger problem later. So just a bad 500 altogether.
Who's number 4?
Number 4, I think I can get him. Tony Stewart. Needed a good run. Long off season, big injury. They needed a little momentum. I think having a bad day for them ended up really being not a good thing at all.
Mechanical issues for Tony. How about number 3?
Number 3, Clint Boyer. Is a team that, you know, obviously, look at that. Look at that.
That's fancy.
There. A team that obviously had a lot of issues, and, you know, after Richmond last year, they need a good, strong start. The whole MWR team, honestly, had a really bad Daytona 500, so I think they needed it pretty badly.
Engine failure for Clint Boyer. Who's number 2?
Number 2 is a guy that I think didn't receive enough credit for what happened at Daytona. And how well he ran. I thought that Paul Menard and his team may have had the fastest car on the racetrack for a large portion of the time, and they ended up with a 32nd place finish to show for it. Really disappointing finish. They were really, really fast. I thought they had a chance to win the race.
Who's your number 1?
Number 1, and again, you'll have to help me with this one. He's a long way away. Martin Truex.
Got him.
Here's a guy that is on a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, he was in the chase, he was out of the chase. He has a ride, he doesn't have a ride. He didn't even go test Daytona. They come down and sit on the outside pole. They wreck a car in the 150s. They get a car out, it's really fast. Finishes dead last. I mean, you're talking about an emotional roller coaster. This guy has been on one.
And all these 5 will have an uphill battle if they want to get into the chase at the end of the season. Now, winning at a premium this year, when we decide the championship, winners will populate the top 16 spots for the challenge round of the elimination-style format. So, of course, now we've changed over to populating 16 positions. And of those 16 positions, we're going to show you 20 of them. Marcus Ambrose, Kyle Busch, Terry Labonte, Kurt Busch, those guys are all on the outside looking in, as we already have our first winner of the season with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And don't think for a minute they're not all thinking about that. They want to win races. They know if they win races, they're most likely going to be in the chase. But at the end of the day, winning races is what they all care about. But points still matter, man. Don't think they don't.
And winning doesn't automatically, you don't have to win to be in the 16, because up to this point, I believe it's an average of around 12.5 drivers have won races in the first 26 races to get to the chase. So obviously, you don't have to win to get in. Points are going to be important.
That's exactly right. So you're going to have between, I think, 3 and 5 teams that transfer in because of where they are in points. Not every team that is in the chase is just going to get there because of wins. So points matter. There's no question they matter.
All right, still to come, we'll hear from the chase leader's crew chief and maybe the hottest driver's crew chief. We'll tell you what a window, a flap, and rubbish have in common. But up next, it's time to scan all 43.
Just got spun here. Keep in it, keep in it, keep in it.
Stay to the bottom. Check up, check up, check up. Good job, good job. Back it down, nice and smooth.
I think we're done. That was a hell of a hit right there.
Oh, man. What the hell happened?
Here's a word you...
He won it as a rookie, and Denny Hamlin comes to the flag and wins the Sprint Unlimited for Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing.
Any questions? Any questions?
questions here. Denny Hamlin, he's a hands-on driver in the shop overseeing final preparations for his Phoenix car that we're actually able to see being loaded into the hauler before they headed out west. He had quite a disadvantage on Sunday when he lost communication from his spotter. That's the guy who sees the big picture of the race. Let's go now to Joe Gibbs Racing and hear from Denny's crew chief, Darian Grubb, who's with Kelly Stavist.
Well, what a start to the season it's been for the 11 team. Darian, you guys won the Unlimited race. You won your dual race and came second in the 500, which is even more impressive by the fact that you had no radio. Just how difficult is it for Denny to be out there alone without the help from a spotter, especially in those final restarts?
Yeah, the last restarts where it really hurt us. It was really tough before that. We had intermittent communication issues, but we were able to actually get the pit calls and things to him, and he was able to understand us a little bit. But the last little sequence there, we wish we had a little bit more radio help and some more teammates out there right behind us to be able to go out and pull off the win, but second's not bad.
Yeah, after the long rain delay, we saw some condensation build up in the rear window of some of the cars. Was it that moisture that caused the issue with the radio?
We're not sure so far. Right now we haven't found any moisture in our electronics, and we actually put a new radio in after the rain delay to make sure we didn't have any of those issues. So we're still trying to diagnose and make sure we find out what the true root of the problem was.
Well, you guys had such a strong start, and that came off a win to close out the season in 2013. How much momentum does the 11 team head into Phoenix with?
This FedEx Toyota team is just on cloud 9 right now. We know we've got a lot of speed in the cars. Denny's feeling great. Everything's going really well. So we're really looking forward to getting to Phoenix and unloading fast and trying to get out, pull off that first win of our season.
Well, the big change for Phoenix, of course, is going to be this new qualifying procedure. And I understand you guys had a NASCAR conference call to discuss some of the competition changes. Are you clear on the procedures for this weekend?
Yeah, we're clear on the procedures. We just got off that conference call, like you said, with all the other competitors, and they kind of reiterated some of the rules and procedure changes. And we're really looking forward to getting to the track and seeing how all that actually works out. It's going to be a learning process for NASCAR and ourselves, and I think it's going to be a really good show for the fans.
All right, well, it's been a good place for Denny, who's finished in the top 3 of the last 4 times at Phoenix, including a win in 2012. Rick?
Thanks, Kelly. Now, how big is the chemistry between a crew chief like Darian Grubb and Denny Hamlin?
Well, it means a great deal. And I think, you know, what they went through last year was really hard with Denny being hurt. But in many ways, I think that can make that combination even stronger because ultimately those two have to trust each other. They have to believe in each other. They've got through that. They fought through it.
Right.
They found a way to win late last year, early this year. They've got to be feeling good about themselves.
A lot of momentum to start 2014. Now, even though Denny Hamlin couldn't hear his spotter most of the race, we could hear all the drivers' radios. Let's listen in as we relive the Daytona 500 and scan all 43.
The Great American Race, NASCAR Super Bowl, whatever you call it, the Daytona 500 is stock car's most prestigious event. And the 43 drivers who run its grueling 500 miles know firsthand what a win means.
That's it, boys. Let's focus forward.
Hold out there. Have the front.
Drivers, start your engine!
Fired up with the race. Good, fired up.
All right, buddy, having some fun out there.
All right, guys, let's be on our toes all day.
43 hungry drivers hoping this will be their year.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
As the season kicks off, Daytona filters out the weak right from the beginning.
Somebody's already got into something.
It's in the fence. Don't get run over. Got the wall into 1.
Got tire down.
It's a long way to go. We'll be fine.
Oh, he's in the wall here.
Just had a flat. I just got the fence a little bit off the corner. Blew up. We just blew up, guys.
With 2 cautions and 38 laps in the books, it was Mother Nature's turn to spoil the party.
It's going to rain, I think, pretty good.
Slow them down, Brent. We're going to come down pit road.
It took over 6 hours for the weather to clear, pushing the 500 into prime time for the second time in 3 years. But the wait was worth it.
Keep an eye out up front. Make sure this guy's not doing anything crazy.
Saying if he wants to cause a big wreck, keep driving the way he's driving. Watch the water here, watch the water. So I got to be the thank NASCAR for letting us race with a fucking wet pit road.
We got a pass-through penalty, bud. We got a pass.
Our pit stop, that's bad, and we drug out. Hey, man, looks like a bunch of monkeys this week. I don't know what we got going on, bud, but it acts like it's just down on fuel. Every lap it gets worse and worse and worse. I want coming spinning behind you. Keep rolling, real fast, real fast, real fast, real fast.
All right, they got us for too fast entering.
We were going to get run over by a wrecked car because of their wet pit road, and they're going to penalize us?
Something's wrong. Showing up now.
Is it broke? Got pit road time.
With more weather approaching and time running out, drivers begin to push the limits.
Just got spun here. Keep in it, keep in it, keep in it.
Stay to the bottom. Check up, check up, check. Good job, good job. Back it down, nice and smooth.
I think we're done. That was a hell of a hit right there.
Oh, man. What the hell happened?
It opens. We're going to get a little bit of gas and probably to the left. And then we're going to need a splash to get to the end. Right side's on the jack. Leave on the jack. Leave on the jack. Clear, all clear, all clear, all clear. No pressure.
Kyle Larson is around, and they're crashing behind him.
Michael Lynette, Marcus Ambrose, several other cars.
Hang on to it. No caution.
Go! One lap down. Am I the only out here? No, we got, yes, one lap down. How many cars? One lap down. You and the 9. Big wreck, caution's out. Keep coming there. Safe fuel, get a run of safe fuel.
Hey, you need to get right up behind the pace car. Something come up on our grill. 88's got a big piece of bare bond covering up half his grill. He's going to be real fast out front.
Tell Jeff to push me all the way into one.
You want drama? We've got it. Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to get away.
Junior showing no problem whatsoever. He has the field in tow.
There's a big wreck in the mirror. The 11's not clear. Keep coming, bud. You're going to do it. You're going to win it.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has won the Daytona 500 for the second time.
Oh, yeah! Woo! Yes! What a day! Unbelievable!
One of the voices you just heard is going to join us. Steve Letarte, Dale Earnhardt's crew chief, goes one-on-one with the mayor, Jeff Burton. NASCAR America back after this. On this day in NASCAR, one day after Bobby Allison made his Grand National debut, his son and future Daytona 500 winner Davey was born. That was 61. In 1968, Cale Yarborough scored his first of 4 Daytona 500 victories. In 2008, Carl Edwards won the rain-delayed Sprint Cup event in Fontana, his first of 9 wins that year. You can get closer to NASCAR every weekday. It's the latest on NASCAR and all motorsports. NASCAR America, weekdays, 5 Eastern, only on NBCSN. Speed Weeks culminated with the Daytona 500, but the undercard events finished in spectacular fashion. Friday night's Camping World Truck Series race saw Kyle Busch win with a margin of victory of 16 one-thousandths of a second. Then Saturday, the nationwide race ended with Regan Smith 13 one-thousandths of a second in front of Brad Keselowski. Photo finishes for both races, Jeff.
Yeah, this is why people love to watch restrictor plate racing. Great action during the race and even better at the end of the race.
So those were close finishes, and we expected those. But here at NASCAR America, we expect the unexpected. How about Barabon flying up and getting on the nose of the winning car?
Don't see that very often, get an advantage like that.
Then during the duel race, a satellite was launched. That's a Delta IV satellite launched a GPS satellite above the United States. How about when a cowl flap flies off of another car and lands in the hood of Jeff Gordon's car?
Nice throw.
That doesn't happen very often. Oh, how about this? Justin Jennings. The right side window flies out, almost catches the flagman. He has to duck to get out of the way.
Nice move, Justin.
Does a pace car ever catch on fire? Well, sure it does.
It did then.
We saw Brett Bodine and Buster Otten have to jump out of the pace car because it caught on fire. Well, when we come back, the man on my left, known as the mayor in the garage, goes one-on-one with Dale Earnhardt's crew chief, Steve Letarte. NASCAR America continues from the heart of racing in places like Tony Stewart's Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio. How about New Smyrna Speedway in Florida, home to the World Series of Stock Car Racing, and the Concord Speedway in North Carolina. NASCAR America continues next.
ESN.
It's normally hard to grab time with the mayor, but here on NASCAR America, we've cleared a few minutes in his schedule and thought that he'd best spend it with, the Daytona 500 winning crew chief, which is Steve Letarte. He's standing by on the phone.
Hey, Steve, thanks for joining us. And first of all, congratulations on a Daytona 500 win. One of the things that stands out when I think about you is that you've had almost every job within a Cup team. But I want to know, what does it feel like to be the winning crew chief for the Daytona 500?
Well, Jeff, that's the million-dollar question. I'm not sure what it feels like quite yet. It's only been, a day and a half or 2 days, but you kind of dream at night what it would be like to win that race, and then when it happens so fast. I don't think I've really been able to kind of get my brain around it yet, but But it's nice. It's nice. It's ready to go. I'm ready to go to Phoenix, so I'm ready to get back into the rhythm a little bit and see all your peers in the garage, and then maybe it'll set in a little bit better.
Well, that's a racer's mentality, right? Go to the next race. Well, since you brought Phoenix up, let me talk about it a little bit. How does winning the 500 and pretty much solidifying your spot in the chase, how does that change your Phoenix outlook, and does it change how you're going to race the rest of the year?
Well, it definitely reduces the stress for Phoenix, without a doubt. You know, Phoenix is a track. It's a short race. You know, it's down in the 300-mile category. It's a tricky 1-mile track, but since the repave, the strategy at Phoenix has been very, very tough. You know, tire fall off is very minimal. You got to be really courageous with your fuel strategy. We watched Carl Edwards run out of gas late in the Phoenix race in the fall, and I think our Daytona 500 win is going to allow us to take whatever gamble necessary to give the 88 a chance at victory lane. And that's something we maybe couldn't say in years past, but with the chase and the way we qualified, hopefully this year so far with 1 win, we know 2 wins would be 100%, and that would also count for some bonus points early in the chase. So we're going to try all we can through the summer to win as many as we can.
All right, well, I hate to put you on the spot, but it's fun, so I'm going to. Tell me, you know, when in the off season, what was your biggest fear and what still is your biggest fear about this upcoming season?
You know, I think it's always the biggest fear of any crew chief is just the unknown and the momentum. And what I mean by that is when Dale and I were first joined together in 2011, our goal was to be relevant and be on TV for a reason other than because he's Dale Earnhardt Jr., and we did that. In 2012, we won a race. That was our next goal. That was great. 2013, it was bittersweet. You know, it was sweet because we had a great performance. We made the chase. We ran well. But it was a little bitter because we didn't get that victory. And while even without that victory, we called 2013 a success, the fear coming to 2014 is, can we build on that? Can we win multiple races? Can we compete in the chase? And a Daytona 500 victory surely eases quite a bit of that fear, and if anything, will give us a lot of motivation to be able to accomplish our goal.
Well, again, Steve, thank you for being with us, and I really look forward to working with you in the future.
All right, guys, appreciate you having me on. It's been a fun week, but like I said, we're excited to get to Phoenix, relax a little bit, and get back on the racetrack.
All right, 2 interviews and 2 shows. Are you trying to get rid of me?
Yes, but for more reasons than just that.
All right, nice job again with the Letarte interview. From the entire NASCAR America family here on NBCSN, thanks for joining us and have a great evening. Pro Football Talk is next.